Hello, hello, and welcome to This Week on Magnet Marketers, a weekly blab that focuses on how you can become a magnet versus being a bullhorn with your marketing. I'm one of your hosts here, Jessica Phillips, and I'm founder and president of Now Marketing Group and the Relationship Marketing System. We help brands translate their authentic story through online marketing and social media. And as always, my lovely co-host, Mike Gingrich. He is president of a website agency, Digital Hill, and he's also co-founder of Tabsite and founder of a nonprofit, I Give Global, where he lives and works by the philosophy of always being uncommon and always adding value. This week, I love that, by the way. And this week, we're diving into everything you know about marketing has changed. Part uno, because this is a longer topic than 30 minutes or 45 minutes that we're giving ourselves, but just kind of touching the surface. And this kind of all stemmed by one article that kind of started us thinking and turning our wheels and wanting to bring this to light a little bit more that Inc. had published. Talking about just the shift in marketing in general, but how a lot of it's changed, honestly. And one part that I really wanted to focus on in this blab as we dive in is that the personalization piece of marketing and what that means and what it looks like for business owners, small business owners and marketers, and how the shift is happening and how we can start adapting to the first big shift that's happened, which is marketing is now personal.
Yes.
It's not business, it's personal. It's the opposite.
Yeah, and I think this fits exactly with kind of our philosophy that, you no longer can you just be a bullhorn in marketing, but you need to be a magnet. And things have changed. The dynamics online have changed so much so that
drastically,
critical. And so, great topic and just flows with what we like to, dive into.
Yeah. Perfect. So I'm just going to put this quote in here because I'm going to reference it quite a bit, but it's not business, it's personal. So forget everything that you heard before with that, but it is personal. So the biggest shift in marketing that we're talking about today is the personalization and how it's changed. So one thing that I want to say with personalization is that the biggest shift that I've seen with that is that gone are the days where it's just like you said, being a bullhorn. It is all about conversation. So the marketing that's working is conversational in its approach, first and foremost. That's why I think social media has become more popular, because it allows for that two-way form of conversation, a more natural approach for humans speaking to humans versus logos speaking for you with this big,
billboards,
billboard type approach, right?
Yep.
It's conversational. I've even seen this though on some billboards where they are taking more of a call to action or starting a conversation approach that are working. If we are talking about traditional media and social media and how that's even evolved, though, there's trying to use other ways of spinning it, so it's, even though it's a billboard, it's not billboard-esque, if you will. It's asking them to do something or take some call to action, the ones that are working anyway.
It's a starting piece in that conversation. Okay. Yep. It's not, instead of it being the message, it's a starting point. Okay.
Exactly. That's one of the things I'm seeing.
All right. Okay. Well, I thought of, the statistic we've come across here, and just to touch base on that, this is from Forbes, right? And 92% of consumers turn to people they know for referrals above any other source. So we're going to each other, and particularly online, particularly with social media. It first started with email, but now it's just proliferated with social media about asking for these referrals. Because how many of you can you think about how recently you saw somebody on Facebook ask a question? Hey, I'm going to be needing this. Anybody got any recommendations? Or, hey, I'm looking for this. Anybody got any recommendations? And boom, that's happening on. Then moving away from Google themselves. I think we continue to use Google that way, but we're using our social media networks because we trust that network. We trust that network has that, they've been down that road. They've had successes or failures with things, so they have a good perspective on it, and we trust them. So we're going to trust that to what they have to say.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a nice approach. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit of an echo. Are you? Do you hear an echo?
Go for it again.
I'm hearing myself echo back.
Still?
Yeah. Let's try it one more time. Okay. It's gone. Okay.
Okay.
No, it's not. Hold on. I'm going to refresh just to be safe. Sorry.
All right. Hey, so while she's refreshing, for any of you who are just coming in, everything you know about marketing has changed. This is part one. We want to just talk about some things with that, particularly related today about it being, it's about it being personal. And please feel free to list your questions down below /Q, and we'll take a look at as many as we can along the way here and add them in after we've gotten through our introduction.
Speaking of personal, I'm still echoing a little bit, but okay. Speaking of personal, though, you've seen this just rally around live video, like Blab, Facebook live video, Snapchat video. And I think people are craving this more and more because personalization is working, and it's putting a face to the businesses. It's not just the logos anymore. It's putting a face to the company and the culture and what they stand for, and helping set them apart from their competitors, right? And it's allowing people to connect with them and build those relationships, and that's why it's working so well. And I think that's why people are gravitating more and more to the live streaming, the Snapchats, those instant moments, those micro moments, if you will, with companies, because they're allowing them to start having an emotional connection with the companies. And that is what is a huge shift I'm seeing in marketing, is that you didn't used to see the CEOs coming from, out, in front of the desk and putting themselves out there, or letting their team members, have the face of the company for the company. But now the companies that are doing this are hugely seeing the impact on what it has to their bottom line, their brand loyalty, their, viral marketing, and, the brand advocacy, where companies are just seeing this natural, referral network just being built, and this tribe referring out for them because they're having this emotional connection with the company. And and businesses that are gravitating to this way of doing business and this way of marketing are succeeding.
Yes. Yeah. No, I think that's just the fact of being able to ask questions. Social media has really pushed the envelope on this, but people want that, and that's a differentiator. They're doing business. You don't even have to be honestly the best at something, but if you have a connection with someone, they may say, "Hey, I want to do business with you because I know you. I trust you," and that's happening. The network of the ways it can happen with social media has just expanded that. And so that's why it's becoming of significant importance. But yeah, live streaming, I was like, wow, how that has helped you connect with someone. You think about some of these people, I think of like Gary Vaynerchuk and I don't have, I read a lot, but I don't have time to just be added to lots more lists and all those kinds of things. But, I'll take a minute and listen to one of his videos that comes through my Facebook newsfeed and that type of thing. And, over the course of time, it's got me to the point where, I've bought a book, of things of his that way, just because he's connected with me on a number of points that way. And so that live or just video that he's doing, not always live, but is really making a difference there. And I think that for a lot of, you think of that, business is still personal. Again, I come from a heavy manufacturing area in Indiana, so we have lots of dealer networks, and dealers do business with manufacturers because of that sales rep, just because of that rapport relationship has been built. There's not a lot of differentiation in these products. There's little tiny pieces, but Oftentimes it comes down to, that sales rep. I can trust him. I like him. And so I want to do business with him. We're just taking that to another scale online with video, live streaming, those types of pieces. And so that's a big change in marketing.
Yeah, it's gone from word of mouth to world of mouth. Now it's just those word of mouth connections now have a larger platform to be heard and to connect with their friends and their community. And they're now, being able to say their opinions about a company and others hear them. And the companies are now hearing them too, though, and they're answering questions. I think that's why Gary Vee, like you had mentioned him and how you've connected with him, he's taken an interest, not just in promoting himself and his companies. Honestly, he doesn't even really talk about his companies that much. It's really, he's put a huge focus on his community and answering their questions. His whole show is just answering people's questions and him giving his approach to it. And look at how it's exploded, over just the past couple of years. So personalization is key, but it's not just in your tone of voice that you're using. So we've been talking a lot about the tone, answering, being transparent online, putting yourself out there, not just your logo out there online, using some vulnerable apps to really put yourself out there, like Facebook live streaming or Snapchat or Twitter or whatever it is that is not just the logo speaking to someone and having a conversation, but it's you. But it comes back to even your website and how your website is being presented. Before, you used to be able to have those brochure type websites. Those don't work anymore. People are expecting to see, the true company's culture, what makes them different. They're expecting to have some kind of interactive approach, even if it's just, hey, I want to ask you a question. I'm going to fill out a form on your website and I want you to get back with me. But also, the questions to be listed right there on the website and them to have real answers back on the website. That's a huge shift. Even having it ready and mobile responsive, having that personalized approach to your website ready and available to people that are coming to your website.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that, but it's a good point that just being mobile responsive is trying to foster that good experience, because you're believing and you're knowing from stats that a bunch of your traffic is going to come from a mobile device, and so just giving them a good experience right there, that's a way of taking care of them. I think that when you think about, how's this broken down for your basic small business, your basic marketer? It's as simple as just replying to comments. You have a Facebook page, we all got them. You got Twitter accounts, you all got them. Okay. And you put some things out there that's sharing some of your content from your website, probably. Okay. But lo and behold, what happens when somebody mentions you and when somebody comments on the post? That's when this takes place. It's that opportunity to just reach back out, answer that question, that type of thing, which can it can sustain loyalty, which can help your repeat business, or it can drive some new business just because they've had that initial good contact with the business. When it comes down to it, how many of us we gravitate towards something that connects with us, that touches more than just the head, that touches the heart, whether we see something inspiring, we see something, we have a good interaction with it, it's a warm fuzzy, it's a positive touch, it's a respect given, and you're like, hey, that's legit. I've got another level of credibility for that business, for that company. I'm going to reach out to them.
Yes. I liked what you said, the emotional, connection there, because one word that I keep hearing when I'm reading, other topics on this, and the biggest thing that's changed is that marketing now in business has to be an overall experience. It has to be a full experience that allows you to go through the process and, feel something at the end to make it memorable and worthwhile.
Yep.
Making sure that it, is a full-blown experience. And that goes back to having it first on your website, then making sure that you're an easy to approach company. Even if you're a one-person shop or, a huge company that has people in different departments and silos, making sure that it's easy and seamless to get in touch with someone and for their needs to be heard, to where when you're, communicating with them, that you're talking to another person on the end of the line, or, on the end of a social channel, not like a customer.
Oh man, I lost a little bit of that because
I'm
you
sorry.
either frozen my screen or your screen froze. But anyway, you were frozen and I missed a piece of that.
Okay, well, I said, well, no matter if you're a small company or a large company, the big thing is having this personalized experience from start to finish. So it's not no longer a business and a customer. It's a person and a person. And when that person is searching for needs or services, that they're looking for, when they're reaching out to someone, that you have to be easy to be approached. You have to be approachable. You have to be able to handle that person's request from start to finish and make it a smooth experience for them in order to win in marketing. The marketing doesn't just start or stop at just that first message. The marketing is actually now the full sales process and beyond. It is the start to trying to attract them, all the way through the journey of growing the repeat referral business from that person. Whereas before, the marketing used to be just what brought them to the door. Now I think the marketing continues on throughout their whole process.
Yes. Okay. Now I know that you're interested in kind of diving into this, the influencer aspect of that, and that's a newer one for me. But I'm interested in kind of getting your thoughts on that. So marketing's changed. We've outlined that, and it's no longer the bullhorn, but it's personal, and people are expecting to reach out. They build trust that way. They buy that way. So dive into your thoughts on how the influencer marketing kind of plays into that.
Sure. So the big thing with the shift in personalization is that companies have this figured out, right? They have it figured out. It can't be the logo. It needs to be the person. That they have to create this kind of, feeling in their whole process of marketing. But they know that people buy from people. And so they're looking at different ways of who can influence an audience for them, who already has that network in our personas that we're looking for already built in to kind of their trust army, if you will. So
Gotcha.
who can we talk to that already has the stage, that could reach our audience? And they're looking out to find these influencers to be brand advocates for them. So they're reaching out to them. Sometimes it's a paid thing. Sometimes it's just, hey, we're going to give you free service. We're going to, kind of give you a sneak peek in, and hopefully you'll love it so much that you're going to be willing to tell others about it for us. But I've seen it go both ways. But this is having a huge impact on companies. Here's just a couple stats that so far. So influencers sharing your content can lead to a 3 to 10 times increase in your conversion rates if you just have one influencer, sharing your content. Now, this isn't something that's like brand new. I mean, if you think about it, this goes back to the days of like mommy bloggers. Okay. The mommy bloggers, they were kind of the first people that were really considered like influence marketers in my opinion, because they were just moms talking to other moms, and moms trust other moms, right? They have these like niche sites, and they're, looking for the best car seat to buy their baby. They're going to go to other moms and ask them, which one do you trust? Which one should I not go to? Which formula is going to be better for my baby? Which isn't? And so companies figured this out. The large companies that are selling these things figured it out, that if we can get a mom that already has reach to say that ours is the best, and that ours works, then they're going to be willing to trust and spread this word for us. And it's not going to seem as salesy or marketing, right? It's just going to seem like a human to human talking, just a natural thing. So these mommy bloggers were getting, $300 strollers and car seats and formula all sent to them just because they had the stage. Now influencers are getting smarter about it. They know that their network has worth. So some of them are, it's now a paid thing. They are being persuaded and to, basically their opinion for hire, which can be in a good and a bad thing. You don't want to, be that influencer if they are influencers that are, promoting everyone and their opinion changes day by day. If it's done right, it's someone that you can't really tell that they're being that influencer for you. Now,
Yep.
some companies are doing it in a different way. Like, I don't know if you've heard of Atom Tickets. Have you heard of Atom Tickets where
I
you're at?
I don't think I have.
Okay,
No.
so it's an app, and you're seeing this on other apps, but it is an app on your phone that allows you to purchase and pre-purchase your movie tickets and your concession items right from your phone, right? So
Okay.
their whole business model was to the the win for you as the consumer that are purchasing your movie tickets on your phone is that one, it's going to be a quick and easy process for you. You can purchase it right then and there. And then you can show up to the door to go see your movie and show them your pass and show them your concessions,
Yeah.
and you don't have to wait in line. You're guaranteed that you're going to get into the movie, everything. Now, how they marketed it, they did an ingenious way. They started in small communities and picked some very well-known individuals in the community that they know could have reach. And they have a built-in feature in this app to where, hey, you tell your friends, you bring your friends, or you even get someone to download the app right here and there, and that's what you got paid on. So you earned like movie tickets, or you earned monetary payments for actually getting people to download the app, but then spreading it out to your network. And then now this app is huge. They started with all the Regal cinemas first, and
Yeah.
then went from there. But they used influencer marketing. They didn't use, they could have purchased, all the movie theaters ads. They could have, purchase AdWords and like many other apps do, but they use the power of human to human connection marketing because we trust each other on what to use.
Yep.
And, especially with putting a credit card in this app, you'd have to be very trusting. And that's how they've grown this app. And they're, I think, a little under 2 years old now, but they're really big in this community. But Lima was one of the test pilot communities to get started on it.
Okay. Adam, you want to put that in the notes
yeah,
there?
absolutely. Let me put that in. It's called Atom Apps. And now, you know what? I actually go to the movies a lot more. You get like $3 less a ticket, and concessions,
If you use
discounted.
that, you get a discounted ticket.
Yeah, your first ticket, well, at least in Lima, your first ticket was free. And then when you purchase it there, the goal is you get discounted tickets for you when you buy it there ahead of time. One, it's kind of like a Expedia for movies almost, but you get the movie ratings, the trailers, everything in this app. But then if you invite more people to go with you and they go, then all of you get to share in the rewards of your movie experience. So you can all get less, your tickets cost less the more and more you have people sign up. So it's a pretty cool app in the way that they did it.
I think this the influencer piece. I think it's new language and it's a term again that is taking something that worked offline locally and is now on scale online. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I mean, we all have these downtowns, and you've seen businesses collaborate there. They have some type of overlap in their customer base, and so the flower shop, the gift shop, with the wine store, and he puts a wine bottle in the gift shop, and they cross those types of things, and so there was a influence of, hey, we approve of this store, we connected with them, and now now you're seeing that online.
Yep. It's literally that word of mouth, like you're describing it, those alliances, if you will. Like small businesses figured it out. There's BNI networks, all across the United States and beyond that have figured it out. When you can align yourself with others that are willing to refer you, everyone wins. But now they're taking that same kind of word of mouth approach, because word of mouth is the strongest, most guaranteed way to get sales, and turned it into the world of mouth. And women most often are the ones that are that fall into the influencer recommendations the most. 20%, I just put the stat in here, 20% of women will consider purchasing products supported by influencers more often than males. So women are a huge target for influencer marketing. We trust each other in this decision. Maybe you guys are slower to it, but women definitely. But it goes back to like what I said, the mommy bloggers. Moms trust other moms for these decisions, and we trust each other in our support and giving our word on what we're going to buy.
I'm just thinking through where I see this. You took the mommy blogger thing, but I mean, I see this on Instagram all the time. So there's a gal, is it Kayla Etzine? She's from Australia anyway, and so it's kind of a fitness program, kind of weight loss thing, and it's kind of scaled that way. These women are really connecting around getting healthy and transforming themselves, and it just kind of it spreads word of mouth on Instagram as they talk about it by sharing pictures, that type of thing. So but it's a different method. It's finding the medium. It's finding the method in the medium, because
it can't feel like marketing. Medium. The whole trick with this is that it cannot feel like marketing. It has to feel like genuine, which it should be genuine, conversational, very personal approach, very person talking to person. And we are literally just really excited to talk about each other and refer off each other. So the only way that can truly feel like it's not marketing and work is that it does have to be genuine. So don't just pay a bunch of people that have big brands, big audiences to promote your product. It literally find somebody that is genuinely interested in what you have to offer. If a small business, find those other alliances with other businesses that you're willing to support one another. The only way to be transparent and real about it is if you are transparent and real about it. But this is the biggest shift though happening. There's one more stat, if you don't mind, I'll share this one. And it says influencers can also turn into brand evangelists. 77% of customers are more likely to buy from their endorsements. So, if you can get someone that is not just even, influencing for you, but they're also, getting others then that are connected with them to evangelize from there. So let's say I'm really excited about Atom apps and Atom tickets, and I'm telling you about it, Mike, and you start using it. Maybe I'm the one that's getting paid technically by Atom, right? And I'm telling you about it, but you like it and it's been referred to you and this new thing that you're just now hearing about it. Chances are you're going to go and then evangelize it from there, just because of sheer connection, because you have a connection with me and we have a relationship built on trust. And now you're excited about it. Now your network reach is a whole other audience then that is just trickling, and that's where it goes. And this is where companies are trying to get into that groove of getting the actual evangelists for them and the endorsers, because it works back to back.
Gotcha. Yep. Nope. That's a key. It's a shift, and everything you knew about marketing has changed and hasn't changed. I mean, we're talking about some of these things that just offline to online, they've went scale, but businesses need to adapt online, because what's changed is how you operate online, because online was more of, push marketing. It was email blasts. You didn't expect to hear back from someone, that type of thing. But, now there is, when people reply to a email, they kind of expect a response. And this is just that level of engagement, and that can set you apart.
Absolutely. Right. So, Andrew wants to jump in and add. Are you good?
Okay. Let's see if Andrew can add something.
All right. Hey, Andrew, how are you? Can't hear you. Andrew, are you there?
Hello? Yes.
Hey. There we go.
Yes. So I hear marketing has changed.
Yes.
There we go.
Well, you see, I'm a small-time weed dealer, and I was just wondering how this change in the market would affect.
I was worried about that. So, but yeah, so it could work for all different types of audiences and influences. Not trying to push that one out, but yeah.
Yep. We're trying to stick with things that we can feel good about here in this conversation, right? Okay.
Oh goodness.
I guess
Moving
it is.
on.
I guess it is legal in Colorado and some parts of the U.S., but we're not necessarily talking about medicinal and health purposes here. So, all right.
Yeah.
Now, how about the concept of needing to create opportunities to communicate with consumers, not at consumers? We've touched on that a little bit, but I think that that's a key part of this shift. What do you think?
Yeah. Say that one more time.
The concept of businesses and it's must create opportunities to communicate with consumers, not at consumers. And particularly, I mean, it started in we see it a lot with kind of the social media realm and social media personalities, but it's got to get down to the business level. Okay. Mm-hmm. A small business has got to kind of break out of just that one way and begin to dialogue. You want to lend some thoughts on that?
They just have to get comfortable with their team and their mission. I'm sorry, I'm still echoing. Can you hear me echoing?
I do not. No, you sound okay to me.
I'm just going to go with it then. But the biggest thing as businesses is stepping outside of that comfort zone and realizing that everyone that's on their team can be a part of it, and that everyone that's working for their team is a part of the brand advocates. So letting the other personalities in the office, work with them on this. This can be huge for small businesses, especially, when they get involved in the social media process. I mean, whether you're working with an agency or you're doing it in-house, or however you're doing your social media, this can be the biggest part of it, whether they're just talking about the company and, doing some behind the scenes, doing some quick tips provided by, the individuals at the organization to the consumers, whether they're doing demos, whatever it may be. But the more that people can connect with people, whether that's through video and seeing people at the organization, whether that's even getting to know some simple background information about the people that work there. We've seen this even with HubSpot. Actually, they have, a big organization. They have a lot of team members that are, blogging for the company, but those team members also have their own personal projects. So it could be, they're really passionate about running. Okay. And they have a running blog. But that gets interwoven with that personality where the person that's passionate about running, and they're also sharing, things related to inbound marketing and HubSpot, that they're also gaining those other people that have the same similar interests, and they have other things to talk about to build and strengthen those relationships. So it's okay to add a little bit of your personal side of things that don't have to do with the company, if I can say it like that. But that are the company, the team that brings the whole company together. So one, letting your team members be on social is part of it. Two, letting them have a voice in what you're putting out there, the ideas that they have. Don't be so afraid to put little things out there and to have a little fun with it and have conversations that you miss the opportunities. And then also I've even seen it with some companies that they're just afraid that it has to be perfect. It's that same old school way of thinking with marketing where, the video has to be the perfect edit and the graphic needs to be highly designed with everything in there included. Your social posts have to be, all AP. It's not like that anymore. It's like
the paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It all has to go away. It just has to be.
I like that. I think that's a key point in everything marketing has changed, because we have went from that whole mega scripted thing to more of in the moment, raw. It's okay to just be as you are and to put it out there. I mean, folks, we got to get a hold of the fact that live video on Facebook is getting the most traction. I mean, people like it. They're devouring it. They're tuning into it. And so, you got to get beyond wanting to script and produce a professional video on those pieces. If you want to reach your fan base, if you want to overcome some of those engagement challenges, that's a way to do it. And so that's a piece of why markets changes. And I always say you got to kind of watch what some of the big brands, what are they, just kind of individuals in the industry are doing first in the social industry, and watch that's going to trickle down into other industries. It's going to trickle down into small business. And so, those are key things to watch. And that's the trend. It's the video and it's the live streaming pieces that are important.
Yeah. And who's big in this is millennials. And a lot of companies are figuring out how can we, attract millennials with marketing. And I'm just going to share, I shared a link with all these stats on here, but here's one of the biggest ones. So if you are a small business and you're trying to attract millennials, it's hard to get their attention because they're not watching traditional television shows. They watch their shows on YouTube, Netflix, whatever. But millennials are ranked word of mouth. They rank word of mouth as their number one influencer in their purchasing decisions. So when you can figure out that way of building that relationship, and like we talked about, the influencers and the advocates, and create that word of mouth, that's how you get their attention. That's how you're going to connect with them and sell to them. And you have to be willing to open yourself up for the opportunity to do that.
And again, so that comes down to knowing your target demographic. Who is your ideal customer audience? And because you don't want to waste time, you don't want to be everywhere, but you want to be where they are. So I'm just thinking those millennials and some of the things that Snapchat's doing right now, just some amazing, the stories was the beginning of that, but just the way that they're reaching out. People can reach out with their products, with their services on Snapchat, where younger people are spending time, and then you're just moving into other areas. You got to know where your demographic is spending time. Are they on Facebook? So can you reach them there? Different pieces.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's not the same. Even though you're on there too, be careful about what you're putting out there. It can't be the same message across all networks. It has to be, like I said, it has to be authentic and genuine in order for it to work. She said, I promise I'm not a troll.
All right. We're gonna go for it.
Let's go for it. Why not?
I'm not a troll.
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Thank you all for allowing me to come on. And you were talking about your target market. That is something that a lot of people struggle with, me included. And so I'm just wondering, especially with the millennials, even though I don't really feel that they're like my target market, a lot of my market, I believe, is on Pinterest. So I'm trying to learn Pinterest. But how do I actually really make myself relatable to these people? And because I think I'm going after like the 35 to 45 age group, but then there's a lot of millennials, I think, that are starting to start businesses and things like that. I do organizational tools. So, but I'm not a coach though, so what do you think? How do I relate to these people? How do I make myself more relatable? I guess I should be saying like that.
That is a fantastic
I think
question.
You're going to need to be active in participating in things. Maybe it's on Pinterest boards that you're not just pinning, but you're active in commenting where your audience is, because it seems like to connect with your target, they need to. You're going to have tools, so they need to see your mind in action. So you need to find those ways where they can see that, whether it's the written word in comments, or whether it's a little bit of videos. Maybe it's a podcast. I don't know, but they need to see your mind in action in order to know what you would have to offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
And
do you think that the Blab platform is a place for that?
It could be.
Well, again, it's take a look at who that ideal customer is. Are they spending time on Blab? Now there's two uses of Blab. One is the live, like we're doing here, but then there's also it's recorded, so it can be used again in YouTube. You can upload it there. You can download it, upload to Facebook. So there's methods there. So you want to have, where does my audience spend time? You knew they were on Pinterest, and we can load YouTube videos to Pinterest. So maybe a recorded version is good. Are they savvy enough to want to come to Blab? You're going to have to answer that question.
So I have a link here too. I just put in the side, and it's you're trying to identify who are your buyer personas and what are they looking for from you, so you can be relatable to them and provide it, right? So the biggest thing is start filling out and knowing exactly who your personas are, because they may be different individuals and you may use different platforms to connect with your different personas. So if you click this link on here, it has a way, it explains how to create a buyer persona and how to identify them. And you really have to list out like, what are their main needs? Like, what are their pain points? What are they looking for from you that you can meet them and help them either solve a pain point or reach a goal? And then from there, you can create your marketing message and what's going to set you apart, and quickly saying, here's how I'm going to meet you where you need me, basically. And then
Gotcha.
You pick your platform on what's the best way to do that. Which platform is going to help you get there the fastest and build that rapport with them. So you'll have a platform for, of course, attracting and educating, entertaining, and set yourself as expert, but then also a platform that you can use too for the after the sale, stay in touch, kind of keep those relationships going. Whether that's a drip campaign, or if you're using that for Pinterest, and maybe you create like a collaborative board or a secret board that you only maybe let some of your customers in, but a way that you can keep those relationships going, so then they can turn into brand advocates for you and influencers for you to grow your network even faster.
I love that. That whole influencer that you guys were talking about is just like, ooh, how can I get one of those? Well, we all want one of those, right?
Yep, exactly.
Well, thank you. I will download your buyer persona tool, and I thank you all so much. See, I told you I was neutral.
Scared after the first one.
Thank you. You guys have
You too. Good luck. I love it. Love it. I love it when people have to identify them. I am not a troll, It's hard to tell these days,
Yep.
You never know.
Right. So this was part one, because we want to keep going into this. We don't think we're done yet. We got some more to dive into on everything about marketing has changed. Do you want to recap anything or set the stage for the next one?
I would just say the biggest thing is that's changed in part one that we're talking about is personalization. So making sure that you know who you're talking to, so you can make it a personalized approach, identifying who your personas are so you can make it personal, and think influencer, human to human style marketing for that approach. That's key one.
Okay. And I want to kind of set the stage a little bit for the next one. What the things I'm excited about, just because I'm a tech geek, and so this everything about marketing has changed. Relates to this, where this thing here is that the preferred screen, for so many people now. So we're going to talk about what this means and how that changes things, and the fact that customers are never offline. The door is never locked, it's never closed. There's times for that. So kind of diving into a little bit more of that landscape that's changed online, and that really changes things for us. So that's what I'm excited about.
Absolutely. Yes. And next week we'll be talking about that and what it means in this new technologically world. How can you make your business adapt to all the things that are changed with the dual screen, and how you can be there to start those conversations. I post a link here. So everything that you know about marketing has changed, part 2. So you can subscribe, make sure that you join us next week or catch the replay, and it will be here on Blab next Tuesday at 4 p.m.
Yes. All right. So again, you can find us online. Jessica, President, Now Marketing Group and Relationship Marketing System. And Jessica, why don't you put your Twitter handle or something in there?
Absolutely.
And of course, myself, you can find me at MikeGingrich.com, and I'm sure you can't necessarily spell Gingrich right offhand, so we're going to make sure we spell that one out for you as well. And so those are the keys that we want to leave with you. We always be glad to engage and talk more.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Mike, and everyone that joined us. I really appreciate you taking the time out and to join this conversation for Magnet Marketers, and we'll be back here next week and hope to have you back. Thanks, Mike. Enjoy the rest of your week. See ya.
All right, see ya.